Uncle Boonmee, Who Can Recall His Past Lives, is a pretty normal movie. You know, most movies have this scene where your ghost wife appears at the dinner table, or when your son turns into a Bigfoot, or how about when a fish f***s a princess? Yeah, that last one got your attention, didn't it? Well, if you haven't already guessed, this movie is an art film out of Thailand. Now, I don't mind foreign films or even reading subtitles. What I do mind is when a film is boring, and I've never experienced more highs and lows than in this movie. Right off the bat, we get a good example of what I mean by highs and lows. There's a buffalo in a field. Great, who cares? The buffalo gets loose. Oh boy, it's heating up now. Some guy goes and gets it and brings it back to the farm. Whoopity-doo! Why was that important? Well, it wasn't. But what is important is what was watching all of this. Bigfoot. And I have to say, this is one of the most creepiest Bigfoot costumes I've ever seen. Bravo! Now we get introduced to a small family. There's Uncle Boonmee, who is dying of kidney failure, and has asked some of his family members to come to his farm and help him out. Included in this group is Jen, his sister-in-law, and Tong, his nephew, who helps him with cooking and gives him his medicine. That night, around the dinner table, they're all having a fairly normal conversation. How Boonmee can't eat egg yolks, and where they're all going to sleep that night. Again, it's pretty boring. But then, Boonmee's dead wife, Jen's sister, appears out of nowhere as a ghost. This is Hue, and at first, everyone is surprised to see her. But after only a couple of seconds, they're just like, "Oh, hey, it's good to see you again. It's been 19 years. How's it hanging?" Well, she's here because she knows that Boonmee is dying and about to join her in the other realm. But she's not the only surprise guest tonight, because Bigfoot, yes, that's right, Bigfoot comes walking up the steps. He starts talking to them, and they immediately recognize the creature as Boonmee's long-lost son, Boonsong. Years ago, he picked up the hobby of photography, but then, one day, he caught something with his camera that changed his life. He couldn't stop thinking about this monkey ghost, as he called it, until he found one, mated with it, and he transformed into the creature itself. Okay? The next day, we get a glimpse into Boonmee's everyday life. He owns a farm and has several workers that tend to it. I would think that after the crazy night he just had, he would at least be a little excited, but no, it's a pretty normal day. He walks around talking to everyone and eats some honey. He does talk about how his kidney disease is karma for killing men in the war, and he kills a lot of bugs on his farm. But Jen says the only thing that matters is your intention. If you killed for the betterment of the world, then you can die happy, showing that Boonmee is thinking a lot about his life and how it will soon be over. Here's a good example of what I'm talking about with boring shots in this movie. Nothing is happening here. I guess it's supposed to set the mood or show that time is passing. I don't know, the only thing it's doing is making me sleepy. But remember, when this movie has a low, it comes back with a high. And, well, this is certainly something. In a scene that has nothing to do with anything else in the movie, we see a princess being carried through the forest. She stops to take a look at a waterfall, and we can see in her reflection that she doesn't think that she's very pretty. She has everything else a girl would ever want in the world, but all she wants is to be beautiful. So, a talking fish convinces her to walk into the water. And this is no Mr. Limpet.
By the way, my name is Limpet. Henry.
I'm not going to show you what they do, but in this world, just know that when you do it with an animal, you turn into that animal. And at least in fish form, she gets her wish, and she's beautiful. But now, you're a fish! Why would you want that? Back at the farm, we can see that Boonmee continues with his treatments, but now being helped out by his ghost wife, which would be pretty convenient. I wonder if she can go to the store or the bank and run other errands. Everyone would be like, oh, that's just Boonmee's ghost wife picking up some bread. In all seriousness, they do have a heart-to-heart about how he's kind of afraid, yet excited to die. He compares the feeling to giving a presentation in school, how you're nervous yet excited at the same time. She also reveals that heaven is kind of a boring place, and that ghosts are not attached to a building, they're attached to the living. So when Boonmee dies, she doesn't really know what's going to happen to her. Finally, Boonmee decides it's time. He and his family walk towards a cave where he wants to die. As they go deeper and deeper into the forest, we see that not only Hue joins him, but his son does as well, albeit from a distance. Deep inside the cave, Boonmee can't see anymore, and we get some stills from what I'm guessing is him when he's younger. Here you can see he's hunting Winnie the Pooh, and then here's a picture of a captured Bigfoot. Okay? During all this, he's talking about a dream he had where he time traveled to the future, and the people there wanted to hunt him down. I'll be honest here, I don't really know what's going on. Maybe it's supposed to symbolize a dying man's brain shutting down? I don't know. In the cave, we see Hue open his kidney tube, which will eventually kill him. But what is coming out of it? Pee? I guess. It streams up towards Tong, and he's just like, Uncle, can you point that thing somewhere else? And then there's the funeral. We see Tong and Jen back at their apartment, and they get up to get some food. But really, they stay on the bed and watch TV? Or did they split molecules into two people in that moment? I don't know, and I'm tired of trying to figure this all out. So now on my quest to watch every Bigfoot movie ever, I've been forced to watch Fish Fornication. Great. Uncle Boonmee, who can recall his past lives, is something else. For one thing, he didn't recall his past life. There's no mention of anything like that. In fact, we don't see much about his current life either, except for the last few days and whatever was happening in that cave scene. It seems like this movie has two camps, those who love it and those who hate it. And I think most people hated it. There is a lot of boring shots that serve no purpose whatsoever. I think they should have edited all of that out and repackaged this film, but then it would only have been 20 minutes long, so I guess that wouldn't work. The only reason to watch this is for that dinner table scene, which was pretty cool. The way Hue fades in, and then of course when Boonsong walks up the steps and just sits down at the dinner table and starts talking about how he turned into a Bigfoot. The suit and makeup are all great and a real highlight of the film. When he's in the shadows, you see just a silhouette with those red eyes that will haunt your dreams. But at the dinner table, you get a good look at him too, and it's equally as terrifying. But great suit aside, I can't recommend this movie, unless you like art house films. If you do, then have at it. I give Uncle Boonmee, who can recall his past lives, 1.5 talking fish out of 4.